Hey guys, welcome back to TV Movie Mistress. As always, I'm your host, Mo.
And I'm Carly.
And we are both back to talk about season 2, episode 6.
Name of the episode is called Like the Light by Which God Made the World Before He Made Light, directed beautifully by Emma Freeman and written by Hannah Moscovich and Shane Munson.
That's such a deep ass title. That is
Right?
like I'm like, what does that even mean? Like, I don't know. It's a lot.
And I didn't catch it. I watched it twice. I didn't
Mhm.
catch who said it this time.
Me either.
And I always
Oh,
like look for it, but I didn't catch it
Yeah,
this
no,
year. This year. This
I
week.
think Louis said it because his over dramatic self. Who else would say it?
Oh.
But
Because I was like maybe Louis, I would say maybe Santiago too, but yeah, probably
Oh,
Louis.
maybe Santiago. Okay, I have it in the background. I'll keep half an eye out and see if it comes up at any time. But for those of you wondering where Juwan is, Juwan will be popping into the show a little bit later. You'll just hear his voice and we'll go from there. But I want to talk about this episode, which has been so lovely. This has been such an enjoyable show and season.
Yes.
I don't know what I'm gonna do with myself when the season runs out because where am I supposed to get this much dopamine from? I don't know.
No. Is Warrior coming back?
Ma'am.
Oh, sorry. Anyways, moving on.
Why would you do that? Why would you say that?
I don't know. I'm so
Oh my
hateful
god.
sometimes.
Yeah. Just make us both sad before we get into this
Right.
episode.
No, I'm
Sure.
sad.
Love
All
it.
right.
Love it. Did that to ourselves, didn't we? Okay. So yes, this episode is all about people's shame coming to the forefront. Um, primarily in this episode, Armand, as a lot of his techniques slash secrets slash not neuroses, but little ticks are a bit more visible. And it was a pleasure to watch. What did you think about the episode overall?
Overall, another great one. That ending, I mean, come on. But I think what I liked the most about this ending, about this episode was Armand, and seeing him kind of lose control in the flashbacks in Paris, seeing him almost very similar, not very similarly, but also kind of losing control in the present day, of his hold on Louis, of his relationship, whatever. But he just felt like he was like floundering in both timelines, and I enjoyed that very much. um and I don't know, I just thought it was just beautifully directed. I think Emma Freeman did a fantastic job. The kidnapping scene was just like, wow. The scene where Claudia attacked Madeleine's attacker was just like breathtaking. um I don't know, I really the reveal at the end of Lestat, I just truly enjoyed this episode, and the direction I think did it for me.
I agree. This was absolutely well directed, well, in a sense, choreographed. I love the set designs as well. It was a
Yes.
feast for eyes, especially because it's like so many different scenes or sets.
Mm-hmm.
From the beginning, whether it's Daniel and the Talamasca guy, or like later on by the end between like Lestat and or where Louis and everybody, like it's just a feast for my eyes. I'm sure I
Yeah.
say that every week, but I mean it every week. My eyes just come away happy. It's just, again, it's a well executed show, but most of all, it's the story. Like the story is
Yeah.
just, it's just so great. And I feel like every episode is like, oh, they can't top that, and then the next week they top it, and I'm like, fuck.
Right. Right.
And it's a
It's like,
pleasure.
well, I mean, after
Yeah,
that, so
well,
what else are they gonna
yeah.
do? And then you come back next week and you're just like, well, they did it.
It's
They did it.
wild. It's
What do
wild.
I know? I'm
Yeah.
just gonna shut the fuck up.
Exactly. I'm just going to enjoy this. Yeah, exactly. What
Right.
do I know?
What do I know?
But on that note, let's jump into the episode, which opens with Daniel having sushi with the Talamasca guy and Rashid. Why do you think, I have a question as I started the
Good,
question
because I
flow.
also have a question, and hopefully it's not the same one.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Okay, let's see. Well, we are like synced in the mind, so we'll see. My question is, why do you think the Talamasca guy said, if I had your body, Daniel, I'd be running the Talamasca by now?
I think that he was, well, he's an agent, or we're gonna call him agents for now,
Mhm.
of the Talamasca, and he's tasked to get Daniel to, I guess, be an informant, an asset or whatever. And he himself said, he was like, I have to like legally or by whatever my contract is, I have to like nudge you into doing this for us, which is asking the couple hundred questions that they have for the two vampires, and they want Daniel doing it. I think he was just being flattering to him. Like the
But why
first
did
time that I
there's?
saw it, I was,
But it was just so weird that he said, "If I had your body."
oh, like if he was in his no, he said
Yeah,
he said in his body.
he was like, "If I had your body, like I'd be
Interesting.
running the Talamasca by now." And I found like that's an odd way to phrase something. Like,
Interesting.
not
Yeah.
if I
I
had
just
you, Daniel, but like your body.
yeah.
It was weird.
I think, but he also seems to be like a weird little guy. But
Yes,
I don't know. I mean,
absolutely.
that may come up later
Yeah.
in some way. But in this episode, after watching it a second time, I was like, I think he's just kind of like doing his job instead of like threatening or whatever. He's like buttering him up in a way.
Okay. Okay. I
That's
could
how I
see
saw it.
that. I'll be honest. I'm not gonna watch the spinoff Talamasca. It sounds like a cop show. And I'm
Oh,
kind of
I'll watch it.
I don't. If it's not a procedural, I'll watch it. But I'm feeling like they're gonna make a procedural, and I don't want to watch a procedural. If it's like a hot guy of the week procedural, then okay, I might change my mind. But if it's just gonna be like a bunch of like FBI agents, like X Files, like whatever, X Files did it, like but that's where I'm at right now with it.
I'll watch the first episode and let you know. How about that?
I appreciate that. Yes. What was your
Okay, so
question?
can I ask you my question?
Yes.
Is Rashid real Rashid?
Mhm.
Is he working with the Talamasca?
That's what
Because
it looks
Raglan,
like.
right? Raglan was like, "Hey, Rashid, Mister, whatever." Daniel said that he wants to stay alive,
Mhm.
and then Rashid was all sassy and like said something sassy back. And like I was like, first of all, Rashid, super cute. Second of all, I love
Mm.
the sass. Third of
Yes.
all, are you an agent? What's
I
happening
am
here?
so confused. No, I that was a question I had as well. What side is
Okay.
Rashid on? Because like he left Daniel alone to have this long ass conversation with the Talamat Raglan. You said Raglan,
Yeah.
and the way him and Daniel covered for each other later
Right. Right.
when Armand was like, were you with him every
Right. Did he talk to somebody? Did he talk to somebody? Were you with him the whole time? Were you watching him?
moment? That entire scene was
And it
gold.
was so seamless where she was
Yes.
like, "Nah,
Yes.
like he went to the bathroom that one time," and then and then I was like, "Yeah," and he stood there the whole time watching me
Like
or
a
whatever it was that he
creep.
said. Right, and
Yeah.
I was just kind of like, these two, did they practice that? That shit was like so natural.
And then that means like there are operatives within Armand's home from the Talamascar. And
I
Rashid
mean,
is human. He ain't scared.
do we know that Rashid is human?
That's a good question.
Yeah, well, yeah, because we would have seen it in his eyes.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But
Yeah,
yeah, why help them? No, that's a very good question. Why is he involved? Because I've always said, what's this like, and I loved how the Talamasco guy was like, yeah, you'll probably die. Like we don't
right. We can't help you. He straight up was like, "Ooh, yeah, we're not really good at that, so like enter
Yeah.
at your own
Yeah.
risk."
So I was like, why is anyone this sounds like the worst organization to be in. It's not government affiliated. And it's
No,
just like, what is happening?
they're
Yeah.
like, it's like four people working out of a basement
Yeah.
or someone's station wagon. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. I'm like, guys, get it together. But I
Yeah,
guess it's been working for them and they've been getting information, doing whatever it is they've done over the decades at the minimum.
yeah.
Louis and Amand continue their interview. We see in the past in Paris, the play being sorted out. Santiago throws a tantrum on stage, which we see is kind of a performance because half the
Hmm.
coven is on his side already.
It's like a performance within a performance. He's like, it's this episode, at least in the beginning, the first time we see the coven and Santiago and all that, it seems like Santiago is like, he's sharing Claudia's journals. He's like getting everybody to like be on his side to get this coup on its way. And I was just very impressed, even though we saw him do it at the beginning of this season. But I was super impressed that he was like really into the role that he was playing on stage, and also like fucking doing the mind shit.
Yes, yes.
And I was like, yes,
I'm
that's
always impressed
yeah,
by Santiago. Like the actor, Like,
He's so good.
I mean, every actor in this goddamn show, it's
Yeah,
wild. It's wild.
wonderful.
Like, who knew Real Rashid would be Real Rashid?
For real,
From
Rashid. So
from where we
so handsome
started.
and sassy.
Ah, I love him. I
Yes,
love him. All the men in the show are sassy, and I'm living for it.
they're so sassy.
Right?
Rashid and his side eye. Oh my god, I love him. Real Rashid is my new favorite
I
character.
hope they don't kill him by the end of
Oh
this.
no,
That'd be
save
so
Rashid.
sad, right? Hashtag save Rashid.
Right,
We
protect
then
Rashid at all costs.
at all costs. We then see two of them interrogate, or two of the coven members interrogating like Lestat's money man. And
Mm-hmm.
while they're interrogating this man, we also see Santiago on stage basically glamoring this man through
Mm-hmm.
these two other coven members to find out, where's Lestat? When's the last time you got a letter from him? And I feel like Lestat would have prepped for this. Like, he would have prepared a person's mind. Like, if anybody ever like comes to like look for me or something. I don't know. What do you think?
But I don't think that, I don't know, unless it's like, well, you can't erase yourself off of his memory because they still have to do business and stuff. So I think he was very like hard pressed as to like, I don't know about Mr. Leon Card. I don't know,
Yeah.
until he got glamored and he was like, well, he was in New Orleans.
Yeah, that's true.
Um
That's true.
so like, yeah, I don't know what he would have been able to do.
Yeah. And we'll
But what
never
did you
know.
think
Hmm.
why did you think they were looking, like, why did you think they were asking him all those questions about Lestat?
Initially, I thought it was to find Lestat, but I guess technically that's what they did by the end. Because when we see
Hmm.
the reveal that Lestat has or is in fact in Paris, I'm assuming
Hmm.
that means they found a way to get in contact with him, or they found a way to get him to come to Paris.
Hmm. But I asked because like the first time I watched it, I was like, oh, they're like, I thought they were searching to make sure that like Lestat was dead, or like to see if Lestat was dead or not,
Mm,
like trying to confirm
yeah.
what Claudia wrote, I guess, in
Hmm.
her journals. But then after watching it again, I was like, oh no, I think it's more kind of like they already knew and they
Hmm.
already had this plan to like get Louis and Claudia, and now they just needed Lestat to like come and do whatever it is that they're gonna do.
I mean, I guess it's evidence. It's almost like you need to get the witness, like, because again, all these rules that have been broken, right? Where you can prove it through Lestat, right? You try to kill your
Mhm.
maker. You made a vampire child. Like, I think it's like having, like, it's one thing when you just have Louis and Claudia there and Madeline, but I think it gives a little bit more weight to the
Mhm.
crimes they're alleging that Louis and Claudia have committed if Lestat is there.
And also Lestat can get its revenge, being
Yeah.
him one of the
Yeah.
founding fathers of the
Yeah.
coven.
I mean, I think
Of
that's
that of
that's
that.
that's that's impractical. I mean, how well do they know Lestat? How, like, because Louis still his baby, right?
Right, but at the same time, it's just kind of like not only is he like the father,
Hmm.
the grandfather, whatever,
Co-founder,
the father of
yeah,
the co-founder of the coven, vampire, right? So he's a vampire, but also it's like they were just like, hey, we killed Lestat, so
yeah.
that in and of itself is like we have like Lestat is part of us, whether he's not with
Yes.
us or not.
Uh huh.
That's the way I'm seeing it, right? And it's just kind of like, well, they killed them. He has to know that we caught them, because if they're still alive, that means that he didn't catch them or he didn't do anything to them.
So what is the point of Lestat? Like, I mean,
To
like like what
to
is
get them.
no, but like technically having Lestat there doesn't prove like, you can't. If Lestat wasn't there, they could have said they did in fact kill Lestat. But by having Lestat there, that means they did not commit the crime of murder.
No, but that means they committed the crime of trying to murder him.
Attempted murder, yes, that is still a crime. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, trying to murder him and then being like, "Oh,
Yeah.
we caught him.
We
So
caught
come get
him.
him." You know what I mean? I don't know. That's
Yes.
how I'm seeing it. I don't know. It could be something else, but if that sounds plausible to me.
Indeed, indeed. Okay, so from there, let's see. I have a question here.
Mm-hmm.
But let's see. But we also have a gentleman who is I'm gonna curse you out. And there we have the voice some of you, two of you have been waiting for, Joanne, who is fashionably late, being a good husband, like many of us,
Yay!
wish
Damn
existed.
right.
Like,
Moji was talking about you but forget your wife.
I didn't go that far because I like your wife. I'm just saying my single self does not understand these words you were telling me about, like, couple shit, because that's the hater in me.
these words you're telling me, you said that's funny.
What is this happy marriage you want me to care about as a single person who lives in New York? Get out of here. But and what are you pouring? That better be water and not like.
It's the blood of innocent children.
Oh wow. Okay, well, welcome. This will definitely be the show that will have spillage of innocent child blood eventually. Joanne, let's catch you up. We've been talking about the intro so far. We have Daniel having sushi with the Talamasca guy. We've had Armand and him continuing the interview, while in the past we have Santiago throwing a tantrum on stage to cover up the fact that he is indeed working with half of the coven members to bring down Armand, supposedly.
You can never make me hate Santiago. But also, so question for you all, and y'all may have gone into this. So is Rashid in? I'm guessing we're supposed to surmise that Rashid is in with the Talamasa or whatever they're called.
Talamasca?
Whatever they're called.
Talamasca. Well, that's actually a question Carly yourself had, and my response is, I don't fucking know. It seems like he is.
I think he is. He seems like he's some sort of asset.
So he's a plant.
Some sort of plant, right?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Right?
Okay, I guess they could play it both ways. Like it didn't. It seemed like he knew him, that he knew the guy, but maybe like did not know. So this is very, very. It's interesting. I'm interested to see where that particular part of the story goes. But also, if real Rashid is in on it, I have to question Armand's level of security. Because if your most trusted human aid, which you're not really supposed to have, first of all, according to your fucking rules, is down with this secretive group that who knows either gathering information or maybe wants to take the vampires down one day. Why are you not reading more minds? How come you don't really know this stuff? He just seems kind of clueless that this stuff is going on behind his back.
See, I mean, we saw it in this episode. It was kind of about that because that's what happened in Paris too, back in the day. So I feel like there was a lot of parallels between Armand in Paris and Armand in present day. And it could be something like what Louis said, that he's been in power for a really long time, so he's just gotten a little lazy, or it could just be that he's just not really good at it. You know what I mean? But like we've seen it before. Like present day is not the only time that he's kind of.
I have a thought about it, because that was initially the way I was thinking about Armand until the end of the episode when he sold out the love of his life because he's a bitch ass, which was that I think he's pretending. I think Armand is that motherfucker who lets you get comfortable and lets you think like he doesn't know what's happening. I think just like Louis, was saying, like, oh, really? You didn't know what was happening in your own coven? I feel like that's sort of the same thing that might be happening with Rashid, where he's just like, I know, but I'm not going to act on it, which makes him a whole level of difference. Because like you kill Rashid, they bring somebody else next week.
Okay.
So that's how I was thinking about it by the end, when I was like, oh, he is a duplicitous motherfucker. I did recall that. Okay, so from there, we have them interrogating Lestat's financial man, glamoring him, getting information. And I had a question, which was, do you believe Armand when he says he didn't recognize or hear all of the plotting happening around him?
I based on what I just said a minute ago, I do believe that he did not know that the plotting in itself was going on, but I think that will inform the actual ending. So when he says skipping ahead to the end that I was given a choice or they gave him a choice, I do think that Santiago was very, very good because Santiago is playing like 3 different roles here. He's
Yes, he
he's
is.
hiding he's glamoring someone between these other 2 vampires that are there. So glamoring this guy in conjunction with these other vampires. He's giving a performance. He's rehearsing this performance on stage and interacting verbally, but he's also hiding his thoughts from Armand. So we don't know. We know that he's the youngest, but we don't necessarily know how powerful he is.
Yeah.
Because he can pull that particular. He can just pull that hat trick like that. He has to be pretty, powerful there. So
he's definitely a multitasker. I'll say that much. Daniel and Rashid cover each other's story. Louis is testy as fuck. I did notice. He's always testy, actually.
He's so passive aggressive.
Oh my god! I don't want either of them together. This is not.
This when he made the dirty martini or whatever?
Yes. Okay. So Chloe? Did you notice that comment with the martini where he was like, he made it better? Who the fuck is he? Who made him a dirty martini that was better?
Rashid.
But who made it? No, Rashid made it.
Armand.
Oh, okay.
Real Rashid.
Wait. Who's talking? Carly, go. Miss Andrew.
Real Rashid made him a martini, and he was like, "Oh, next time add a little more vermouth." And then he said, "I liked it." He made it better looking at Armand.
Okay.
When Armand was playing as Rashid, he was the one that was making the martinis.
Gotcha. That threw me for a bit because I was like, "Who's he?"
But he's like, that's Daniel kind of poking at him.
Oh my god, Daniel knows how to poke at him so well, and I love how everybody on Twitter, like just basically social media, has been like, "Look at Daniel out here destroying the same marriage twice in 70 years."
There's one thing Daniel knows how to do is to break a marriage.
Yeah, he's here for that, and I'm here for that too with him. In the past, we have Madeline. That's the first time I think I've mentioned this person's name, this lady's name. I feel like we kind of
actually knew her name. I don't remember if they actually said her name up until now. They did?
Yeah, I think they did. I know I will speak for myself. I haven't really been paying attention to her name. But I did want to ask you guys, is she a Nazi sympathizer? Like, I feel like we sort of jumped over that part of her, like, background. Is she a Nazi sympathizer, or did she just fuck a guy who was in the German army?
I feel like
she fucked the guy that was in the German army.
Yeah, I feel like she just fucked the German guy. She was like maybe a Nazi defector that she wasn't down with it, but that's how they still taunt her.
Gotcha. Yeah, because obviously they're still mad at her because a bunch of guys and one woman pick me come through. The guys are gonna rape her, and the woman's gonna shop while she's being raped. And I'm just like, wow, people are terrible.
I really hate this. I hate that. I really...
I couldn't wait for Claudia to tear her to pieces, and I felt like the way that Claudia killed her was perfect.
Yes.
I just really hate in media when women are complicit in the rape of other women, that it just adds this extra level of sleaze on top of the horrific scene. That she was just gonna like, hey, this is my brother or my husband or whoever, and I'm just gonna let them rape you in this back room while I shop.
Like, I mean, I always say patriarchy wouldn't succeed with just men, defending it. There's some women out here who defend patriarchy better than most men, honestly.
Most men, absolutely. I was just gonna say that in life, in real life, there's so many women out there who are, who kind of go against their better interests so to speak, and they do things like that all the time
Absolutely.
to
Like, oh,
their,
she's
to their
not
daughters,
like
to their
us,
sisters,
woman.
to their
We're good
friends. Yeah,
women.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Or
fuck
like,
her.
you hear that a lot about with like the moms that like blame their young daughters for the husband,
Yep.
sexually abusing them and all sorts of things like that. Like you hear that all the time, and it's
All the time. Yeah.
heartbreaking, but you know,
Yeah. You want to punch them in the face.
yeah.
So,
Like I
but
said, I couldn't wait for Claudia to tear her
Right.
limb from limb.
and luckily she does arrive, and I'm pretty sure the guy across, and I love this perfect scene where it's just like these are the active people, but the guy across the street also knows it's happening, but he's not gonna do
Yeah,
shit. Yeah, all are dying. Like that. That's cool.
absolutely. Get him first and
Yes,
feed on him. Kill everybody. Like I was here for everything that happened.
Yes.
absolutely.
Because he was just kind of like, oh well.
Yeah.
Anyways,
He was
and
like,
like
well,
the fucking lady was just kind of like, "Oh, stop screaming! Your neighbor doesn't even care anyway." I was like, "Oh."
and it's sad because neighbors be like that. some
Well, he was
neighbors,
literally
yeah.
standing right there watching it. So
Humanity. We
yeah,
are cursed creatures.
I'm sorry.
So yeah,
Can we go back a little bit to the
sure.
beginning? With
Mhm.
these two fuck boys staring at a blank wall, trying to figure out what to put. I hate these two so much.
You mean Louis and Armand? Or they're deciding where to put their next pay. Like, Louis, you're not good at art.
They can't.
I wonder if this is what like Swiss Beats and like Alicia Keys do at home with art.
what?
Like they can't.
Okay, wait. Let me give context. So, like, not Louis, might as well be Alicia
Oh, the
Keys
turn.
and
Mhm.
Swiss Beats are trying to ingratiate themselves into the upper class artistic society of New York City, which means they have now sponsored a lot of artists, but they are now also, what the fuck Louis is doing. They are trying to be sort of like that person for black folks or whatever, quote unquote. But it's just you're trying to get into the other class. I see. Go for it. Like I even went to the Brooklyn Museum. They had like a special art gallery that my behind had to pay $20 for to see. It was a bunch of works of artists, quote unquote, vouched for by Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys, and had their own like home shit that they loaned to the library. So I can easily imagine Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys being the Louis Armand. Being like, where do you think this should go, honey? Like, what's the
That's so
vibe?
funny.
So anyway.
I think what I liked the most about that scene
Oh, and
was,
Alicia Keys is a second wife. Oh my
oh
God.
shit, is she?
Yeah.
Yes, she is.
She broke
He
up a
was married to
happy home.
Lashonda first, and
Yeah.
word around the campfire is that she was the mistress to Swiss Beats, and he divorced his first wife to marry her.
Yeah.
Oh
So
my.
that was even more of a perfect analogy than I realized because
But,
she is Armand then.
but who's
Yes,
the best
but
wife? Who's the best wife?
that's not up for. I mean, let's start the first one.
Lestat,
It's always the
obviously.
first one. It's always the
There's
first
always
one.
Lestat.
Yeah, always. That's not even an argument. But I
No, but what I like the
absolutely
most
would
about that
wait. Let me
scene,
cover my New York self. I would absolutely love an evening in the company of Swiss Beats and Alicia Keys. Continue.
oh, I mean, obviously, we're not talking shit. We were just comparing them
Exactly.
to two toxic vampires. That's not.
Exactly. Continue.
No, what I liked the most about that scene where they were like fighting or they were like bickering over what to put on the wall was that it's Louis doing Louis. Like Louis is very passive aggressive. He did it with Lestat too, where he would just kind of like pick at it instead of just talking about it. And that was just kind of like, and it seemed like he didn't, the last time we saw him, he was like really pissed that like he remembered all this thing that happened in San Francisco and what Armand did, but it didn't seem like he like talked about it. He just simmered and was just seething there. You know what I'm saying? And like you could just tell that he just wanted like to pick a fight. And like that Louis, as annoying as he is to watch, I really I really like.
Like, but is he not exhausted? Like, we've all been
He's
passive aggressive at one point in our lives, but I can't do it as a full-time job.
But that's how he handles shit. Cause like if you think back, I can't remember a specific, but I remember him like also doing that when him and Lestat
Oh
were
yeah.
going
Oh
at it.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like this episode, he was the whole episode until Armand was just like, oh, like stop. Like you remembered and you're upset about it. Like fucking just say that. You know what I mean? Instead of like just picking at the scab.
Yeah.
That's just kind of like his MO.
Nah, he's in full passive aggressive mode. I think probably till the finale. However, this
Yes.
resolves itself. So Madeline's about to be attacked, but luckily enough, Claudia comes to her rescue, kills all these motherfuckers, and reveals her true self to her, which Madeline is not in shock over. Were you guys surprised by Madeline's reaction to Claudia's reveal?
Not at all.
I'm not surprised by it, but I think she was a little bit in shock.
I mean, I think in
I
shock
don't
of
think she was.
being raped, not in shock to a vampire.
Well, I think she was a little scared. I think maybe
Okay,
that's a better thing. Yeah, but because I think that she was wondering about Claudia before this episode. Like I think not last episode, like 2 episodes ago, she said something like, you know, like you pretty much like I saw you last year, 2 years ago, and you looked exactly the same, and you know what I'm saying. So like I think she has been like thinking about it and like wondering about her. But I was not surprised by her reaction at all. I think she took it pretty exactly the way I thought she would.
And wow, what about you, Juan?
No, I don't think that she was. I think that she was shocked in a sense, like you're seeing this girl, attack this grown man or drinking his blood or whatever. But I think that she took to it very, very easily. And to Carly's point, how many years do we surmise that Claudia and Louis have been here up until this point? Or has it been years or has it been months?
I think it's been years, at least 5.
I think it's been like I want to say at least 2.
At least 2 years.
At the very least, I'm sure.
Not
I'm
a
sure that at the
decade
very least
worth, but more than 2.
No.
Yeah.
So, people don't really age that much visibly within 2 years. But
but a 14-year-old does.
A 14-year-old,
yeah.
Right. So that's why she was like, you look exactly the fucking same as the last time I saw you or whenever we met.
I think back to the last episode between them two where Madeline is Madeline, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Where Madeline got her period and Claudia, she doesn't know what that is, doesn't know, won't never had that experience. We'll never have that experience. So I think back to like maybe Madeline was looking at like you're still essentially a little girl, which
question mark.
Which kind of questionable her intentions, later on. But yeah, I don't. But I think that that she does have this affinity to Claudia, that she trusts her enough that she's not gonna that she would not have immediately run away.
Yeah. I do want to say this fit. This fit that Claudia has, I'm going to try and recreate it somehow so no one can laugh at me when I do, because it's like plaid golfer pants, like a yellow print shirt, and like a vest. Like I have to recreate this. All right, continue.
No, well, 2 points. How do we know that Claudia never had her period? Did we know that?
Well,
we don't.
We don't.
Yeah.
I would imagine that like she was turned within the 1930s. So she was 14.
Some girls. I'll speak for myself. I had it earlier than that. Like
wait. I'm sorry. Let me check myself. Why the fuck am I talking about this?
That's a question for you. I wanted you to like keep digging that hole.
To the scientific journals that I've read on.
No, you said that with your full chest. So I was like, wait, when did we know about her period? I don't think, no. First of all, I think that she was like that she's probably past her period, or at least know kind of what that is. But I think the whole thing when Madeline got her period was more about like it being blood.
Yeah.
And look,
I'd be
Claudia
pissed if I was a
reacting to it.
vampire and I still had to have my period. Get the fuck up out of here. I'd be so. I mean,
I'd be
I
so
want a
mad.
refund.
I'm like, this is not a
what?
gift.
I gotta be
This is a
shopping for
gift.
pads and tampons and a vampire. Get out of here. We're not doing that shit.
Right. But what about you guys' point about Madeline and her reaction? Like based on her conversation with Armand later, like I could understand why she kind of reacted the way she was. Like her life seemed like at this point, like this is not. This was not like the worst thing that happened to
World War II.
Right.
I'll take that. I agree with her. Like, yeah, like we went through COVID, and that's probably that pales in comparison to like a world war. And in just that short 2-3 years, we almost lost our goddamn mind. So
almost. I don't know about you. Speak for yourself, ma'am.
Those were fun times. Those were such fun times.
Good times.
So I could see. To me, Madeline's reaction to Claudia was very, not say natural, but understandable.
Yeah.
So,
Especially like, well, we'll talk about that conversation she had with Armand, but like definitely after that conversation, I was like, oh, okay, I get it.
I have another question. When Claudia asks Madeline, not to run, do you think if Madeline did run, did you think Claudia would have had to put her down if she had ran?
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
I don't think she was gonna put her down, but she would probably have to like run after her and get her. I don't think she was gonna quote unquote put her down. But about that, like I found that when Claudia asked that question, I found that she was so vulnerable that it really really got me in all the heartstrings.
Yeah.
When she said when she just said the words "don't run," you know what I mean? Like she said it, there was so much like vulnerability there. Like she was sensitive. It wasn't threatening at all. It was like pleading. Yeah. And I don't know, that really tugged at my heartstrings. You know what I mean? Because Claudia was never about like trying to harm her, and even at that point, which is why I don't think that she was like gonna put her down.
Yeah, okay, I can see that. Excuse me. Yeah, I definitely love the pairing of the two of these actresses. I've sort of enjoyed seeing where the storyline has taken them so far this season, where the last 2 episodes is going to take them. I'm not sure. Looking forward to it / not looking forward to it. The next thing
they have good chemistry, the two of them.
They do, actually. I'm not gonna lie. The first time I saw her, I was like, "That is a pale white woman." That was probably the first thought I had in my mind. But she has been.
Yeah, I'm watching it right now. I'm watching the scene right now, and it's so beautiful because Madeleine, she can't get the words out. Like you're she can't get the word. Like, and it's so beautiful because Claudia has to explain it to her.
Yeah.
But it's so amazing. Like they can like have these actors on screen looking the most gruesome with blood all over her face, and she just looks like a little girl. I was like, oh my god. She's like somebody's daughter.
Look, and she absolutely Claudia de Liancourt. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, when he called her by her daddy's name, I was like, oh man.
I was like,
ouch.
Louis, get a man who wants you and your daughter.
Right.
Just gonna say that.
Don't the fact that he had to. Well, are we talking about it now?
I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. Okay, so
oh my god.
I need to talk about my favorite scene of the episode, which is Louis going to Armand at work to talk to him about this new piece of artwork because Louis is gonna be like an art speculator or whatever, and he's like, look at this shit, it's awesome, and there's the brush strokes in different colors. I'm like, shut up, Louis. I just remember Santiago. Just being annoyed when he's talking art. I was just like, shut. I don't know if maybe everyone who talks about art just sounds like that. Maybe that's just the thing.
Yeah. Yes, they sound very pretentious. If you're not like in that world,
Yes. Yeah. Me telling everybody I go there, I just want to anyway, yeah, so Louis goes to show this piece of work to Armand. Armand is like, oh, wow, look at you. You're talking about buying planes. You're going to be the first vampire pilot, the first vampire capitalist. I'm like, wait, none of y'all ever had the idea to like compound interest to make money? Like, what is y'all vampires doing?
They're eating and being performers.
I mean, honestly.
And like it's the money, like what they're doing isn't even making enough money to keep them afloat. Like Lestat's money is, and where Lestat gets money from, I don't know. But like, you know what I'm saying? So like, they're not thinking about like making money
at all. And but then I do wonder about like there's supposedly the head coven in Rome, right? They got to make money, right? Because y'all the ones sending all these motherfuckers to different states and shit. So like, someone has to be making money. The Vatican. It's always the fucking Vatican. Somebody's got to be making money in all of this nonsense because that's not how pyramid schemes work. Somebody's got to make money. But let me stop dancing around because the scene that had me just gasping myself is Louis the Pimp's full return, which you've sort of seen him, but like he's very dominant this episode, especially in this scene where Armand is telling him like, oh, you gonna do this, da, 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 da. And he's like, well, I've got work to do. I've got this new screenplay to figure out for these motherfuckers. And Louis is like, well, you can read it to me while I fuck you face down or some shit. And I was just like,
coffin. He said, lay down in the coffin. You can read it to me while I fuck you.
I gasped.
I loved it.
I did too, but I still gasped.
I'm sure y'all loved it.
I was like fanning myself.
This fucking smut. I'm sure y'all loved it.
Yes, indeed. Absolutely. The great.
It wasn't smutty enough. How about that?
Look, I needed to see the scene in the coffin.
Needed to at least see him lay down, at least. But I think what we got was really good because it's just like it was just all about kind of like Louis being, this Louis.
And it's also wild because they're doing this in the office where other vampires have supersonic hearing. So Louis does not give a fuck that he's fucking Armand in front of the entire coven. He's
in front of Santiago, the nigga that you don't want to piss off.
But also, first of all, like Louis has never given a fuck about any of them because he's just running around town being like, "I'm not gonna join your little fucking coven. I'm not going by your rules."
Like y'all are cute, but no, I'm good. Right. I don't need a membership card. I'm just like so difficult. Louis is like so difficult to befriend, yo. But yeah, the hottest scene of the episode.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say that he seemed. In that scene, he was very kind of like, I don't know, he was like flying high on something, but he's also, Armand calls him Matrix, so Matra? I don't know how to pronounce that.
I don't know how to say it either.
So it's like, to me, it's just kind of like, he has that like, he loves Armand, but he has this kind of like, like he corrected Claudia when he was like, or Armand has, or I have Armand or something like that. You know what I mean? Like he's not like Armand is his bitch. He's not Armand's bitch in a way, for lack of a better way of saying that.
Even though he is, but surely, and that's the one thing that confused me even more this episode. I don't know whose bitch is who anymore. And I guess that's the perfect relationship. You don't, and that's why you mind your business when couples are involved, because you don't know what people do.
Because you don't know.
You don't know. I don't know who's in charge. And that's exactly what Louis and Armand have been giving me all season. Because I think it's very easy to want to be like, Louis a victim. But also if you're like Team Armand, you want to be like, well, Louis. And it's like they're both messy. They're both victims. They both want love. And it's like, that's why you just leave them couples alone.
Yeah.
But okay, so at this point we sort of get to the like kind of the midway point where a lot of things start changing and picking up. But before I do that, I want to tell y'all I have been working hard to get all of the Interview with the Vampire podcast episodes up on the YouTube feed, and I have done it for episode 1 through 5. Wait, This is 6, right? Yeah. And then wait, what episode are we on? And I'm gonna try and get 6 up there by the weekend before episode 8 comes out. But if you are supporting me, please go ahead and like the YouTube channel, subscribe, like all the episodes, every single episode that is up. I would greatly appreciate it. I would love for us to sort of be part of the boom that is, Interview with the Vampire. I think we have great commentary and great things to add to the conversation. Yes. But from Absolutely. There, right, even Jawan, even though he's a man, even Jawan. So from here, Louis discovers Claudia and Madeline chilling in their apartment. And not just chilling in their apartment. Madeline's whole behind is in Louise's
coffin. That was the one thing I was like, really? Like, she couldn't sleep. You couldn't switch. Like, when sometimes my friends come over and we go watch TV in my room, let's say, right? Mm-hmm. I always lay down on my husband's side and they would lay down on my side. Like, I'm just kind of like, really? So I get why he was mad about that, but like everything else, I'm like, you're doing too much, Louis.
I still remember when I would go to my friend's house and they'd be like, that's my dad's recliner. Like, you could sit on it for like 5 seconds, right? But then you just know you jump back up and you sit on the regular chair. So I'm just like, Claudia, what are you doing, girl? And the way Louis just reads them both for filth, like, girl, you better shut up before I break her arms. I was like, oh shit.
I break and throw her out a window, he said. I was like, that was too much.
Look, aggressive. Like you gotta come hard like this though when teenagers are involved. I gotta say, I think you got it.
But like the thing is, like she's I don't know. She's not really. I know we've been saying like, oh, she's a teenager, but she's not really a teenager.
Well, maybe teenagers are the wrong way to put it for Claudia, but more you gotta come this hard when someone knows they can change your mind easily.
I guess. One of the things I picked up, other than y'all just ragging on her for like this woman just sitting in the coffin like she pay rent. But I mean, she basically got the full story. I mean, and Claudia really broke all of the rules here. I mean, she already killed one of her kind, or AKA killed, because we all know he's still alive, but she had the history of vampires written down, interacted, gave it to a human to read, and with the intention to turn that human. So I think,
but if they turn the human, doesn't that wipe out like all the rules she broke?
No, because you can't turn somebody.
Not according to what happened.
No, but okay, I can tell them who I am. I can tell them about vampires, but if I turn them, then they're a vampire, right? So I feel like that cancels. I think that's what she was thinking, because that's what I would be thinking. As long as I just clean up the mess by turning her, I'm good.
Maybe so, and maybe so. Yeah. But I
because I can't turn you into a vampire if I don't tell you I'm a vampire.
But also, I don't think she was thinking that. I think
I'm giving her way too much credit.
She said, she was like, this is the first thing that I can make this decision for myself, for me, and I won't be a third wheel. Fuck, she said in her journals, fuck these vampires. She wasn't thinking about the rules and all that shit. She was thinking about, I'm getting myself a companion and I'm getting out of here.
Which is something she's wanted for the longest.
Right.
Fuck these vampires that you so eagerly wanted to find.
Right. Made you go into a whole war zone, dressing, cosplaying, and Claudia's a lot, man. And Lestat would not have let her done any of this shit, but that's a different conversation.
That's true. I mean, in her defense, she didn't know that they were going to be like this.
I mean, true.
True.
And when you're looking for something, when you're looking for that community, she said this episode that Madeleine was the ex. I think she was looking for something that would be hers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And at first, maybe misguided.
Yeah.
But she was looking for something where she could where she could feel like she really belongs. And I don't think she found that in the coven.
I find it kind of ironic that Claudia actually does find that something and Louis doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Does he not?
He's pretending.
I mean, I feel like he found it in Armand. Is where I feel like
this is not a good substitute for Lestat, though.
That's your bias.
That's not my bias. Because last episode, motherfucker said you are dull. You are duller than beige.
That's
That's
said.
not a good
He
substitute.
was fucking high. He
That
was
don't matter.
high.
You say what you mean when you are just as drunk, sir. Like he meant that, and now he's boring, and that's why the episode started with them discussing what the fuck to put up a goddamn wall. Because it's a boring life they're both living, and they know it. But I'm not biased. I am. Okay, let's see where we're at. Claudia then asks Louis to turn Madeleine. Madeline then asks Armand to turn her because, you know, he figures he's got the power of his dick. Of course, Armand will say yes. And kind of doesn't work. Surprise.
What?
Well,
Is that not what happened?
No, Armand. What happened was
No.
Louis did not want to turn her at first because he did not want her to have the blood of Lestat.
Yes.
Because he wanted her to have who he thought was a different kind of vampire, a better vampire.
No. Claudia wanted that.
Well, Claudia, but she
Claudia was the one that was like, no, not us, because Lestat's
Oh, it was
blood.
Claudia wanted it. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. Well, but Armand, he said no because in the 300 years that he lived, or the 400 years he lived prior to this or so, he had not turned anyone, which was actually surprising to me because I do wonder, where did this modern coven come from?
He didn't make them; he found them. Just like sort of how Louis and Claudia stumbled into. No, like you know how like Claudia and Louis just ended up in Paris, and they were like, "Oh, now y'all gotta join the gang." I think that's sort of the same thing that happened. Like Santiago and all these other people kind of stumbled into like his designated area code, and I'm sure there were other people, sort of like how we saw in the flashback where Lestat was also like, "Well, now you gotta join us," and Lestat was like, "Fuck y'all." I'm sure there are people who have said no and ended up getting killed, and there are people who said yes and ended up part of the coven.
Okay. So I mean, I just found it interesting. He had not made another vampire.
Yeah.
So that's why he said no.
Never.
Yeah. I thought that was the biggest pointer to Armand's issues. Because my guy, the one thing I think we've already noticed about all vampires is they need companionship. So you've somehow been able to go 4 centuries since you were made by your maker to not have companionship. You just went 4 centuries with no friends and no one really close to you. Armand, you are fucked in the head, my guy.
Well, he's been with the coven for so long.
Same. Just like how for Claudia being with Louis and Lestat was not enough. She needed her own person. And that scares me. I feel like this is the one thing that scares me most about Armand is he made that conscious decision to be like, I'm not making it. And then in the future, whatever interview, he says, I felt repulsed by the idea of making a van. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you, Armand? Like, because it's one thing to be like, I didn't find a good student or none of these bitches fit the bill, right? But it's like to say like you were repulsed by the idea. Just I was side-eyeing even harder.
You know what? What I feel like that is though. I feel like that is trauma though, because I don't think that that what was his name? Not Magnus, the other M.
Marius.
I don't think Marius was the kindest to Armand.
Oh yeah, no.
So I don't think that, and I think that I don't think that Armand's journey to being a vampire was the sweetest. So I feel like that I think that he feels that turning something is brutal in a sense, and he doesn't want to be involved in that. That's just my thinking on his part.
I see that.
I felt the same way, where I felt like him saying that about turning vampires made sense, because like he has lived that long, so he has seen so much, and he has lived through so much, even before he got turned into a vampire. You know what I'm saying? So like the fact that like that's what he thinks of turning a vampire. Like, I don't know. To me, I saw that as like, oh, okay, like not commendable, but it didn't feel like, I don't know, like the beginning of his issues in a way. You know what I mean? Like it seemed fairly healthy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
I'll
mean,
go with that.
possible.
Yeah.
Okay, so from there we have Louis. We sort of see Louis trying to actively convince Armand to turn Madeline, even though Armand is already like, yeah, broke like an extra 48
All
rules.
the right, you wrote all the rules, and you want me to reward her? You got
Yeah,
me fucked up.
and he's not wrong. Like this is some
No.
nepotism shit. So
Yep.
real, but Louis don't care. Louis like, but I want it. Like, what's the problem? Your baby wants it. But I did not like it when Louis calls Claudia a burden. Imagine me free of the burden of her. Like, fuck you.
Well, he was
Yeah.
lying though.
Was he?
He was. Well, we have to believe that he was lying because because he said the exact same thing back to Claudia
Mhm.
and said that's what he had to do to sell it.
Right, but was he lying? Because like having
Yeah.
to say that, no, seriously, because
Yeah.
having to
Yeah.
say that
Yeah.
in order to get what you want,
That's a
and
lot.
also
Yeah.
having it be a lie, could be two different things.
For you to
Like
tell your
he could,
future
like it could be one of
spouse,
those things that like,
imagine me free of the burden of my child, would we not just be, why the fuck are you saying that, my guy?
no, but to me, I just feel like, listen, there's probably a big part of him that feels that way. You know what I mean? There's probably a big part of him that he'll probably never admit to himself that feels that way. And possibly whatever happened to Claudia, like possibly a lot of his guilt may have a lot to do with that, whether he admits it or not. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because in many ways you can see how having this um what do they call it? Like charge, fledgling, whatever, like this sister daughter, like is kind of a damper
Yes.
on the
The
life that he
life.
kind of wants to
Yeah.
have. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And
and they
because
don't
he
have
asked for her, he can't really be like, my bad,
right. He can't just be like,
refund.
well, get out of
Yeah.
here. Right. So it's just kind of like he loves Claudia. I have no doubt about that. And he does want the best for her. And he did do this because he loves her and that's what she wants to
Yeah.
be happy. But at the same time, it's just like, I'm sure a little part of him,
Yeah.
just based on what we've seen, a little part of him is just like, if I give her this and she has a companion, maybe I can
I
live
can
my
breathe a
fucking
bit.
life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And,
You know what I'm saying? So
and
like,
I, but I think the realization he's coming to see is that, Louis, you're just a miserable son of a gun with or without Claudia, right?
he was
And
real miserable this episode too.
so miserable. And I'm not a parent, let me just say that off the bat, but I am a child of a parent, of a human. A human had me.
Hmm.
So and I think, sometimes people have children for different reasons, and you can love that child, but you can also regret like shit having that child, right?
Right.
And that child fucking knows. Just FYI. But again, it's human relationships are complicated. So that's how I was very much seeing Claudia and Louis' relationship, because one, Lestat was like, I don't want to make this baby, but Louis was like, I'll stay with you if you make this baby. So
Please,
Lestat was like,
baby. Yeah.
yeah. And Lestat was like, fine, whatever my baby wants, my baby gets. And then you made
My
this
baby get.
baby, and then it became an issue still with you and Lestat. And then you go to Paris, and the child is still an issue with you and Armand. And it's like, it kind of feels like Claudia is the issue, but at some point you got to realize, my guy, maybe you're the issue in these
Yes.
relationship, and Claudia is just sort of the more vivid. You could see Claudia, right? And you could be like, Claudia is the issue, when in fact, no, Louis, you're the issue.
Louis is always the issue.
Louis is
Get
always
that
the
on a
issue.
t-shirt.
So much human emotions left in this vampire man. But eventually Armand says no, and Louis decides he's going to turn Madeleine himself. Let me ask you guys this. Joanne, I'll start with you. Why do you think Louis thought Armand would actually turn Madeline?
I think that Louis think that in the most simplest and crassest of terms, I think that Louis believes that he has Armand digmatized to the point where Armand would do
Yeah.
wherever he asks, and
Mhm.
he underestimated the power that he has over Armand.
Mhm.
And we can all couch, and Armand couches it up to, I've never turned another vampire, and then it repulses me. But you never know what you can do until you actually do it.
Mhm.
So if he really wanted to, or he was as digmatized as Louis thinks he is, he would have just at least made an attempt.
Yeah.
So I just think this is just more so that Armand is. Louis asked me to do it. You know what? I could do it, but I don't want you to think that you got as much
Yeah.
control over me as you have.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this.
Okay. Carly, what do you think?
Hubris, yeah. I mean, I feel like that's exactly what it is,
Yeah.
or what it was. It's like, I'm asking him to do it. He can't say no to me.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. He's gonna say
Yeah.
yes.
And then Armand was all like, "Are you asking me? Are you telling me?" And I was like, "Jesus fucking Christ!" Like I was like, "Fine, you don't gotta fuck. It's just make sure we don't get bothered." It's just like, wow, Louis, you have that pimp energy, but you're not closing the deals, Louis. You're not closing the deals. Um, in present time, Armand even said, okay, yeah, this is where Armand says in present time, he was repulsed by the idea, which also then means at another 100 years, he still has not turned anybody. Armand, what the fuck is wrong with you? I
But
mean, a
wait, why do
lot.
you want him to turn somebody?
Why would you not turn somebody? Like, then that means like all
Why
the
would
knowledge of
you?
like ancient times of like, because obviously it's like almost like a memory thing, right? Whatever he knows gets sort of attached to his fledgling, and he's just not willing to share that or doesn't want
No.
to
Yeah.
share that.
Yes.
Okay.
It's just more headaches. What? Okay, tell me what we have seen in all of these episodes from the first season to right now. What has been so great that they're just like, yeah, let's turn people left and right? No,
Yeah, no,
everything is a
absolutely
headache.
nothing.
Everybody's a
Absolutely
headache.
nothing. I mean, Armand was right when he was like, I think it was Armand that said it, where it was like every fledgling you turn just hates you for it.
Right.
So yeah, I could see it's not kind of worth it. It's
So I actually have a
yeah.
question for y'all then.
Uh-huh.
So let's say with the knowledge
Uh-huh.
as of the knowledge that we have of the world right now,
Uh-huh.
and at the ages that we are right now,
Uh-huh.
would you all want to be vampires potentially living to the end of time?
Yes.
At the age that I am right now,
At the ages we are right now,
Uh-huh.
with the knowledge of the world as it is right now,
Yeah.
right?
would y'all want to be vampires and to potentially live until the end of it?
Yes, because
End
this is
of the
the
world.
best I've ever been. You
Like
would, if you made me a vampire in my 20s, I'd be fucking Claudia. So no, right now,
wait, but
yeah.
can I just like, is it possible to just like real quick lose a little weight after turning
Bitch.
21? And the answer is yes.
I was actually thinking that. Do you stay at
Well,
the
you could go
same
on a
age?
cocaine binge for a month and then you get
Yeah, and then
turned.
like get real
Yeah,
skinny,
sure.
real
Sure.
skinny.
I was
I'm
thinking
gonna.
more of
Because
the
like
mental
no,
stuff, and
no,
you know, like, you
I know,
know.
right? I say that because it's like I got the impression, or I got like the way I understood his story when Armand was talking about his beginnings was that like he was like sickly. He was like sickly, and then he got turned. So that's why he's so like
Tiny.
I don't know. That's why he's so like small and thin and stuff. Because at the moment of
Probably
his
so.
turning, he was like sickly. So like, uh, I don't know.
And like being chased because he was a
Yeah.
slave.
Oh
I,
gosh.
I'm
Poor
gonna
man.
say. I'm gonna say for me. Okay, so Moji says yes. I'm gonna take Carly as a no.
Uh-huh. You're the tiebreaker, Juan.
I'm gonna say no.
Fuck all y'all. What?
And the only reason
I'm the only vampire. I need friends. I can't be the only vampire if I have no friends.
the only
You can have
reason
a
I
vampire
say
friend.
no is I
All
mean,
vampires
okay,
are crazy, Carly. I want
Oh,
my own crew.
not crazy.
I'm a two side because if I would say no because like if I need to be a vampire, I'm gonna
Yeah.
have to live in the shadows. I will be
Yeah.
even more. I would feel like I'll be even more isolated than I would already have been because I can only come out at night. You know, my
Yeah.
job options would be limited. I could probably find a way to make money, of course.
You just
But do
But
you
work
need
for
it?
other countries' time zones, my guy.
No,
true,
but also like, do you need money like that?
we
Right?
probably
You
wouldn't
don't
need
need it
money
the same
like
way you
I'll
do
that,
just
now.
but
glamour my landlord and be like, Moji's paid
Right,
rent for a decade. Like,
do
right.
I
She's
want
already all
to?
paid
I
up.
mean, do
He
I want
actually
to?
owns it.
How many more white men
I,
do I want to see run the country, run this
I mean,
country?
okay, but I mean, I'm not taking literally as the idea of living forever. I will be just like that woman in the second episode who just jumped in like fire. I'd probably do that by the third century because humanity is exhausting. I'm tired
You
of
know what?
humanity now. Like, so
Maybe I
I'm
would
not
say
doing it.
yes.
Yeah.
I would probably say yes if within the next 20 years I can see a flying car. That would be I would say yes. I
Good
want to
luck
see a
with
fly.
that.
I will see a fly after I see a car fly. Then I'm throwing myself in the fire.
But sir, you said the next 20 years, you can possibly still be alive without
Yeah.
being a vampire.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I
Yeah, like
guess.
I like because I always think like because we're in America, old people, boomers, are weird. Where it's like y'all have seen like 20 presidents. Why do elections still surprise you? Like I'm on my
Right.
fifth election and I'm like, yawn, same shit, different white
Same
man.
shit.
Why are
Yep.
y'all acting like this is? Why are y'all acting surprised? Are y'all faking it for us? Because again, I'm on my fifth or whatever election and I'm just like, yeah, this is season 8 of America or whatever. So I don't believe all these old people anymore when they're just like, I never, like, shut up, bitch. You were around during the Depression. I don't want to hear that.
Shut up, bitch. You're hilarious.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so let's see, where are we at? Okay. Louis goes ahead and turns Madeline. Great scene. It was
Mhm.
very well shot. Louis turns Madeline and is happy with his choice of turning her for Claudia, but I wrote still ill, because like Claudia is a child. What did you guys think about the turning scene?
I liked it. I really liked it. It was like I mean it was it was less brutal than when Louis got turned. It was more,
Mhm.
it was a little bit more tender. And, with the fact that also Claudia's, joining in because she kind of wanted to experience draining her to the last point of life as well. So I found it a really beautiful scene, and that this woman also was reliving her tragic moments of life when the Nazis were shaving her head for being a Jewish sympathizer. So I just really love the
Wait, did she sleep with a Jewish man or a German guy?
She
I,
said with a Nazi
she
soldier.
said well not a
Okay,
soldier, but I think
okay.
she was also, but I believe that it's intimated that she was also a Jew sympathizer because they were shaving her head.
So she was a
No,
person? Oh, no, no. I think they shaved her head for sleeping with a German.
right.
So they wait a minute. Who would have shaved their head? The Nazis, right?
No, the people that were like, "You're a
Paris.
We
Nazi."
probably need to know because it's not because
Paris, the French.
the shaving of the heads is something that the Nazis did to Jewish women. So I felt like, or sympathizers. So I felt that that they were shaving her head because she
But they
was a
shaved her head
sympathizer.
in the city, not like in some camp.
Well, Germany is a city.
But
Paris
she
is a
wasn't.
city.
Wait, is she German? I don't think she's German.
I think
I don't
Is
she's
know.
she
Asian.
German?
I
I
think
don't
she's
know.
French. I thought she
Listen,
was
okay.
French.
Here's the thing, Shanna, or any other listener that maybe have any insight to if this was
Yeah, let
something that
us
was
know. Because
part of
again,
the
I
book.
assume she
I
was a
feel like
French woman who had sex with a German soldier during the war.
she could have still been a Jewish woman that had sex with a German soldier and
Yeah,
got.
but you said you said it was a Jewish soldier.
No, I said that I felt like she was a Jewish sympathizer.
You ain't say none of that, but okay, sure. Okay. Let's go with that. I'm sober enough right now. I know he didn't say that. Okay, but again, Madeline, like we haven't been fully paying attention to Madeline, as you guys can see. But okay, fine. They turn Madeline. Louis is finally ready to let go of Claudia. Oh, here's my face. Let's see. Louis is finally ready to let go of Claudia. And I guess after he turns her, they leave. This child,
he can feel her. That he can feel her, which was actually kind of shocking to me because
really,
yeah, well, because of knowledge that I have, but like they left, and I immediately thought when he said they left that they literally left. They got on the first thing smoking out of France.
They probably moved 3 doors down because they're idiots.
But him saying that I feel her, I believed him. Obviously that it didn't work, but it was just shocking to me that they were not there.
Yeah, and
it was shocking to you that they weren't there. You said.
Yeah, it was shocking me that they weren't there just based on pre-knowledge that I have. So it was just interesting to me. So when he said that they left, and the reason I know that they left is because I can still feel her. I thought they were like gone.
Yeah, like another country by then. Yeah,
like he was like they just left, and then like the next scene they're like fucking in a cafe,
exactly
talking and chit chatting. I was like, wait a second, I thought you guys left.
Louis is a unreliable narrator. Yeah, again,
no,
Louis,
well, I mean,
reliable. That's all it is. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carly.
No, I was gonna say I don't think it was just Louis. I think it's the way that the entire thing kind of played, because like then like they turn her in this very beautiful kind of ceremony, and then we see him blood all over the floor. He's like draining himself, and he's like they left. So you're just kind of like the way that it was even presented to us seemed like they just skipped town.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Even though she would still be mad weak to be doing all of that, because like Louis, when we see when he be turned, just right, well, whatever. When Lestat turned Louis, like Louis was disorientated for like days, right? But I guess like Madeline and him were at different stages of acceptance. Maybe possibly. That contributes to it. I'm not sure, but yeah, they're gone. But like, am I to understand Louis then tried to take his life?
No,
because he said he opened his vein.
He's trying to kind of drain the blood so he won't feel her.
That's not how that works, Louis. Fucking dumbass.
He was trying to. Well, can I just say like the scene where they turn her, like when the way you just said, like maybe with her is different because she had some acceptance. I think he described it so beautifully when he was talking about like when he was telling Daniel what she was like, and she was just kind of like a lamb, like smiling up at the wolf or whatever. It was like a he said something, it was like a passive acceptance or something like that. And that's exactly what she was like. So it was very like peaceful and loving because she also had Claudia there, and it wasn't the violent kind of, that like
because he was brought into the world extreme. Like Lestat killed a church guy, like
right, and it was Christ, in a church, and he was scared, and Lestat was also like, "But I love you, be with me." You know what I'm saying? So it was
theater kid of the year, right there, Lestat. Just
right, but like I think you're onto something when you say like for her like the adjustment period. Yeah. Like not only that, but she knew she was like she chose to be a vampire. Yeah. So like the adjustment period may have been different because of that. Yeah.
Yeah. So they create Madeleine as a vampire. Armand tells him he broke with the coven because Louis was like, "What's that suitcase?" And Armand was like, "I broke up with the coven." And I'm like, "You just have a suitcase? Like, my guy, that wouldn't even fit my toiletries. What's happening?"
He said he was like, "I got one sweater, a piece of branch, and my book." Like, it was just like,
I'm not gonna lie, I thought he was gonna be like, "Well, Claudia's gone." I thought he was just moving in. So I was like, "Damn, Armand, you work fast."
Like he's moving in.
Because I would not have been surprised. It was like, "Well, Claudia's gone." Like, I thought that was going to be the reason. Not
right. I heard you need a roommate.
Then I broke up with the coven. Armand.
But you know
Yeah.
what I found really funny though? When Claudia later was like, "How's my coffin?" I was like, "Why did she ask him that?" And I'm like, "Oh shit, he's sleeping in her coffin."
But
But
like,
wouldn't
why
her
is he
coffin be
sleeping in your
smaller?
coffin? Like, Louise sleep in her fucking coffin and then have him.
No, but also it's like, isn't her coffin smaller?
It's, I'm thinking about the coffin she had in Louisiana. I don't know what her
Yeah, maybe
coffin.
she has a regular size
Yeah,
coffin.
maybe now. Yeah. But
Boy.
yeah, Armand is moving and he broke with the coven. He's like, they could have killed me. I'm like, really, Armand? Even though we just saw you make them all your bitches at the dinner table last week, but they could have
They
killed you.
this is the point where I was like, what are we doing here, Armand? Because Armand is not only older than all
Yeah.
of them, but
Yeah.
also way more powerful. So you're gonna tell me that you couldn't take them on
He's
at
like,
least
I
one
don't
at a time with the fucking flick
care.
of your wrist?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
I
saying?
feel like I feel like he could not have taken all of them on. If all of them are over his shit,
Mm-hmm.
which it seems like it is. Maybe not the screenwriter, but I feel like he could not take it because the only thing because I feel like Santiago
Mm-hmm.
with at least a few of more of them could have took him down. So that's
But
why I
like,
feel like
Louis alone was about to take down Santiago at that dinner.
Right.
true,
But that's what
true,
I'm saying. Like
true.
Armand has power.
Yeah.
So even let's say they all came at him, like you can tell me he can't do anything. They were
And
gonna
I
kill
don't think
him.
he's dumb enough to let them all just be in the
Right.
same place at the same time to get him. Like, Jesus. I can't wait to see what the fucking reveal is. I want to know how deep this rabbit hole of lies Armand has been telling goes, because this is like trying to like go through your man's texts and figure out what the fuck has been happening in your life. And I am sick of it. I tell you, sick of it.
Crazy, man.
Oh man. So yeah, he's moving in. He capitulates to the wait. Oh, okay. So in the present time, they are fighting. They are fighting in the present. Like it's not looking good.
No.
Louise all like he just looks angry and pissed
Yes.
off.
Louis was Louis was like that all episode in both timelines.
Yeah, you're not
Like
wrong.
the
You're not
parallels
wrong.
between both of their characters in both timelines were
Yeah.
like right on.
Just angry. Just
Yeah.
pissed.
Just
Yeah.
angry, upset, pissed,
Yeah.
insecure. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it was a lot.
Yeah. And he's just like, oh, let's see. Armand tells him he broke with the coven and he capitulates to, Armand says, well, I only erased, you're mad at me because like you realized your mind was erased, but I only did that because you asked me to.
Right. You guys believe him?
No.
No.
I don't know why I asked.
I mean,
didn't
I
believe
think
him.
there's an argument to be made. I think there's an argument to be made that he did maybe ask for it.
Yeah.
But I don't necessarily believe him. I think that because something that Louis said, Armand preserves my happiness even when I don't or don't know it or something along those lines. So I think that Armand is the type of person that will literally hide something from his partner that he thinks is going to cause the relationship some stress. Not necessarily Louis, but I think it's because it's like when you tell your spouse, like, well, the power bill was a little higher than I expected. I'm just thinking something generic. Like this bill was a little higher this month than a previous month or that we expected. So I may have to put a little extra money. I may have to put a little extra money. And you may not want to say that out loud. You may not want to say that because it may cause your spouse to be like, well, what can we do differently? Well, I turned everything off, or whether you was running and you don't want to really have that argument. You just pay the extra, you just pay the extra $100 or whatever it's gonna be, and you don't have a stake that month, so or whatever. So it's just these little things within relationships.
But the little things add up.
The little things do add up.
Yeah.
But I think that's what Armand is like. He he has the power literally to erase
Yeah.
these
Oh,
big
I would
issues from the
abuse the
mind.
fuck out of this power if I had it, which is why I don't believe shit coming out of Armand's morally gray, duplicitous, centuries old living vampire self. If I had this power tomorrow, I'd be wiping out all the memories. So Armand, fuck you for acting like you were just this innocent puppy dog who would never abuse this power. Because what's the context, right? Because you're like, oh, Luis asked me to, but what's the fucking context? Was
And
Louis
that's the point. That's a
informed?
good point.
I feel like, not to like defend Armand or anything,
Oh,
but like
oh, oh,
we
guys,
know,
Claudia's about to defend Armand. It's
Please,
that time.
please defend him.
no, but like we know Louis, right? Like that does not sound, him being like Armand, take the pain away, does not
Yeah.
sound like something, or does sound exactly like something Louis would
Louis
do.
loves pain. Louis is filled with religious guilt from the time he was born. I think like that's definitely something maybe the show could play up. Well, at this point it's too late, but like they with the imagery of religiousness through his mother, like that religious guilt of breaking the rules, of being a demon, a devil, whatever, is ingrained in Louis. And then couple that upon the shame that he feels at being gay. Like Louis just he's a ball of contradictions wrapped in religious guilt and societal expectations. And I feel like that has followed him through every fucking relationship he has had up until Armand, which Armand ain't the best either. But it just
No, listen, I'm not whatever. But what I'm saying is like it sounds exactly like Louis to me to ask him to do something like that.
oh,
Like
yeah.
I don't know if you remember last week where I was just kind of like, I mean, I wouldn't be
But
surprised if
what's
like
the
Louis asked him
context?
to.
Like, is the context seeing Claudia burn and Lestat lying bloody and him losing his mind while he is like desecrated half the city of Paris? like that's sort of, I'm like, what's the context of Louis? Because I could see him asking, but what was the context?
What do you mean the context?
Like,
It was like what he said. It was like 3 days after whatever happened in
I don't believe his timeline.
what you call it?
Oh my God.
I don't believe his timeline. I don't believe shit he said. I won't believe anything Armand says until episode 8, because I think someone has to hold Armand accountable, and that's my job.
I feel like Daniel is trying his best.
Daniel is absolutely trying his
Daniel is
best
trying his
while
best.
breaking
Just one
up
more
a
thing
happy
on that.
home. Mm-hmm.
But just
Yeah.
one more thing on that. Even if Louis did ask him to erase his memory in this particular instance. Let's say all the Paris stuff they're building up to telling the Paris stuff. So that Armand did not erase his memory until not San Diego. Where was it?
San Francisco.
San
San
Francisco.
Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
So even if Louis did only ask Armand, and Armand only did it in San Francisco, just by giving him that power
Mm-hmm.
to do that,
Mm-hmm.
is still a bridge too far and can still be
Yeah.
a slippery slope. Because once
Yeah.
you allow your lover to do something that maybe you think is in your best interest,
Yeah.
then they're going to just continue to do it.
That's straight up power of attorney.
Because they love you. Because they love you.
Absolutely. We're not saying that it was a good idea, regardless of whose idea it was.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Regardless
Yeah.
of whose idea it was,
Yeah.
is not a great idea.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying, whether Armand did it because he's shady or Louis was just kind of like,
Yeah. I
don't
think it's
wanna
more
live
of a
with this.
slippery slope. Like,
Yeah.
maybe the first time was with his best intention, but by the third time, it's like, honey, do the fucking dishes. Who knows? Who
And
knows?
it sucks because it's like, even if he didn't do it again, let's say ever again, you can't believe it because now it's just
Yeah.
like, well, you did it once. I don't know if you did it again. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's,
But
oh
these
my
two are-
gosh.
These two are toxic from obviously from the beginning. So it's just kind of
I
like,
didn't think I would see a couple ain't more toxic than him on the stop, but here we are. We
well,
are.
and there is a common denominator here, but let's not talk about him.
Yeah, let's not talk about him. I'll talk about him. Okay, so from here, another great scene of acting is Armand basically telling Daniel, like, who the fuck are you that you think I owe you my shame?
Mm,
And he
I
wasn't.
love
I
that.
get it, but goddamn. But great acting as well. I believe the actor's name. Assad. What's
Yeah.
his last name?
The
Assad
Murad.
Saman. No, Assad Saman. Like, fantastic. I'm a fan. I'm a groupie. Just
Yeah.
I
Fabulous.
I am so happy that they were this is like that perfect TikTok thing where there was like, I'm looking for somebody to match my freak. Like, this is perfect. Him and Jacob Anderson match each other's freak as actors. Where like I couldn't have imagined like they could have found another coupling that was as good as him and Lestat, but they did, and it's just been magic.
I
Um,
guess I can say
uh-huh.
I like the fact that these are, that these are brown people
Mm-hmm.
in these roles. I think it definitely does flesh it out and makes it better. It makes it better. I know in the film it was it not
All three
it was
white
it,
guys.
it was no well no it was Antonio Banderas.
Oh yeah, he played Armand. Okay, I remember
Antonio
that
Mm-hmm.
much.
Antonio Banderas played Armand,
Mm-hmm.
which, like Shanna said a couple of weeks ago, this whole particular portion of the book slash movie went by very very quickly, and so they didn't get a chance to flesh a lot of it out. But I definitely do love the dynamic that these two actors of color are bringing out in these characters, and it adds yet again extra layers onto it. So
I need to see them on every runway, walkway, award stage in the coming seasons. I swear to fucking God.
Yeah, right.
Hollywood, I will curse the ever loving shit out of you if Sam Reed, Assad, Saman, and Jacob Anderson are not on
And even
every
Eric,
award carpet. Yeah,
Bogosian.
I think
absolutely.
only
Eric
Jacob
Bogosian.
deserves it. In my
God
opinion, only
damn!
I think
What?
I
What?
think
See, this is
listen.
why
This is why we
I
can't
try
succeed as
to
a
defend
people.
you. Listen, Joanne, I try to defend you when she's talking shit.
I think
I see
only
what you
But like
get.
when
See
you
what you get,
when you say
Chloe.
maybe
things like that, I
maybe
can't do that.
Yeah.
maybe the actor that plays Daniel as well for guest act. And only reason I say that is because I
Mm-hmm.
think that this Emmys is going to be a full because you're gonna. I think it's going to be a lot of full contenders for this.
Okay. I haven't been
So
thinking about who else is up for nomination, but regardless of
I'm
who's
thinking
actually up
of
for the nomination, I
I'm
need them
thinking
on
of
the carpet.
Shogun. Because
Oh, Shogun is great. Yeah.
you gonna be mad. I
Yeah.
know you saying this right now that you
Mm-hmm.
want every actor from this show to be
Mm-hmm.
nominated,
Well, like,
which
oh, fuck.
fair,
Yeah, that's
but you gonna be
true.
but you are also gonna be equally
Fuck.
as mad if the Shogun people don't win.
That is
So
correct. And
you gotta pick you gotta pick which baby you want more.
there's at least two people on Shogun who are men who need to be nominated. Oh, fuck. That's going to be hard.
But
Carly,
I
for
mean,
the love
it's
of
like
God, watch
they
Shogun.
can be nominated. You
Yeah.
have a couple. You have
Oh,
in
they
this
could
show
just be
alone.
on
You
the
have
red
maybe two lead
carpet.
actors and the rest are supporting.
They'll be
Yeah, they
on
could
red
just
carpet anyway because they're
I
actors.
just need them on
They're
the red carpet. I'm not even talking obviously nominations, but I just want them on the red carpet looking hot for my eyes to
But
enjoy and to just get
they
that
can do that without
exposure.
being nominated. They can do that without being
Yeah,
nominated.
okay, they can. Whatever. I am a serious person, guys.
Look at the man bringing logic instead of
You wish you were.
instead of emotion.
I have never seen a man bring logic in my lifetime. I'm
Logic
sorry.
is over emotion.
Okay, how's that been working out for y'all and the many wars we've had? Okay, so Armand apologizes to Daniel, even though he's like, I don't think I've done anything wrong, but I'm grown enough to apologize.
I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm sorry in advance.
Yeah, pretty much. And I'm mad at him, but again, I appreciate the fact that he's not so far gone that he's not able to acknowledge that, yeah, maybe kidnapping you and draining you of your blood and mind washing you. Like, if a vampire could acknowledge his wrongs, why can't my mom? That's all I'm saying. But let's go away
Whoa.
from there. Whoa, I know. Who saw that coming? Not me. Not me.
No, but it's like I don't. I just it's like I don't know.
Yeah.
I think Armand isn't as bad as we are
You're
saying
the
he
only
is.
one saying that. You're the only
I
one.
know.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm the only one saying that
You're
he's that bad?
that he's not as bad.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think
Yeah.
he is as bad as we are
I
saying.
think he is as bad. Juwan, do you think Armand is as bad as we think?
In comparison, okay, I'm gonna say
Especially
it.
to the fact that he let his man and man's extended family get kidnapped. You're still gonna go with that, Carly?
No, I think that
People make
Armand.
mistakes.
I don't think Armand is as bad, but I do think he's a flawed individual, just like all
Well,
individuals.
who
And I mean,
fucking is?
You let me get kidnapped and beat up. I'm gonna fuck you up, Juwan. I'm gonna fuck
well,
you up,
Lestat,
die, and
well,
come back for you.
we're gonna compare him to Lestat, who literally
Lestat would have never let him,
beats,
Louis get kidnapped.
beats. He beat Louis' ass and said, "I love you." Afterwards, I only beat you because I love you. Okay, fuck him. No,
Like,
Armand.
nobody
No.
asked you to bring that. Like, obviously, if you bring that into every argument, it's gonna be a win. I hate you. I'll come back to this argument next week, guys. I'm sorry.
Oh
Okay. So, from there we have the beginning of the end. Madeline and Claudia return to visit Louis and Armand, and it's the cutest fucking scene ever. They're like at a French cafe. It's like when you're in like family, we haven't seen each other for a couple of weeks, months, years, whatever. You finally reunite, and it's just great. And I'm happy. And Madeline's like, "Yo, I feel you, Louis, but like I feel you, because like your blood is literally coursing through my veins."
And she could feel like his emotions and shit.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
we don't like that. He's like, stop snitching. Stop telling people I have feelings. Stop telling people I like them. Ew.
I love how he was like, all right, get out of my soul.
She's like, why don't you want them to know that you love them? Yeah. And
oh man.
But that's a great question though. Why doesn't Louis want Claudia to know how much she loves her? And why doesn't he want Armand to know how much he loves him?
Guard.
Yeah. Issues.
Okay, just that simple. Guarded and issues. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. But it's nice to get confirmation.
The thing with Armand is weird. The thing with Armand, I think, is weird because it's like maybe it's just kind of like where Louis is right now in his parents' timeline, because he's like, he's like on the brink of like a new life career type wise, and he's also like really kind of found himself in a way or in many ways in Paris. So he's like he has a lot of confidence, and he's like walking around with his head held high and his shoulders, you know what I mean, his like shoulders upright or whatever the phrase is, and like he's feeling himself in a different way than he was at the end of, let's say, at the end of last season, for example. So like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, and I like this Louis. I like this Louis that's like,
chill,
joking around and chill, and and he's like just joking around. Like every time I see Louis laugh, I'm like, oh, he's so cute. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because he's always happy. So broody and always showing his like emotions and stuff.
All up in his. As somebody who's always up in their emotions, like Jesus. Like I see people like Louis, and I'm like, girl, you dial it back 20% because it's nothing in life is ever that serious. I mean, you live, you die, like it just continues. Like. And live and enjoy your fucking life, folks. But okay, so no, I mean, I don't think that's it. I'm saying it like it's some mind altering thing. It's not, but we get caught up in our words. Yeah, but we get caught up in our heads. We get caught up in society's rules, like aka Armand. You get like rules are like I laugh at rules. I only like to know the rules because like I need to know like how to skirt the rules or how to not break the rules or how to protect myself from the rules. I think rules are dumb. They're man-made and societally made, and some make sense and some don't, but you still got to know what it is to avoid it.
You're an anarchist.
I don't think that's what an anarchist is. Is it?
What?
So I'm just trying to get.
Is that why I like to go down like closed places that my behind should not have any business seeing?
I'm just Trying to
I'm
get you
not an
fired.
I'm not cool enough to be an anarchist. That's all I'm saying.
Okay.
I don't like rules though. Um, so okay, so my question in this scene where Madeline is like, "Look, I feel you, Louis." Does that mean that like Louis, Lestat has also been feeling everything Louis is feeling? Like, so when he fucks Armand, he's feeling that shit. When
He's
he's
feeling it.
sad, is
Ugh.
right, right.
I was
Oh,
thinking I had the same question that
oh
scene
my
too.
gosh, that
'Cause I
was.
was like,
Ah.
or is it something that like goes away after a while? Like it's
I
only
don't
when
think
we
it goes
first meet,
away.
you know?
Well,
I don't
okay.
know.
See, my question to that is because again,
Mm-hmm.
the pretense of this is that they quote unquote killed Lestat.
Mm.
But we all know, and of course at the end of this episode, know that Lestat is alive.
Yes.
Shouldn't they? Shouldn't even before then, even Claudia and Louis should have been talking about, hey, I feel him. We feel him. The
Right.
Mm.
job isn't done.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I
That's what
mean, I guess maybe that's more or less like, hey, the show is like not really interested in that, telling us this part of the rules, even though we're going to tell you it for this particular purpose, we're going to ignore it for the connection between the Lestat, and maybe they're holding on to it for this episode. Maybe there'll be like an opening scene. Oh my God, he's
Mm.
back.
Yeah.
He's like he's here. So it's just an interesting concept about how this whole feeling your maker works.
But I
Yeah.
think
Which. Yeah.
it's only when you're first made. I think it goes away.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because then if they would have felt Lestat, or Lestat would have felt, they would have felt Lestat
Yeah.
since
Yeah.
Lestat made them. You know what I
Unless
mean?
like
And I don't
Lestat
think
is hiding himself some way, but we don't
Mhm.
know. We don't know. We don't know.
no, and
Yeah.
like I think we would have heard about it because then
Mm.
everybody would be feeling the people that
Look.
they,
Yeah. No. I feel
you know what I
like
mean?
if Lestat felt Armand and Louis fucking, he would have been in Paris like the next day. So maybe not.
He would
'Cause-
have.
But also, Lestat can't. I don't think and it would have had to been on their end, maybe on both ends. Well, yeah, actually, I'm sorry, it would be on both ends
Mm.
because I would imagine like how because Lestat can't communicate
I
with
know
Louis or
why.
something.
I just remember season 1 when
Okay.
Lestat made Claudia. He said he couldn't read Claudia's mind when she was talking to Louis.
Yes, and I think that
So
he
that
did not
might be
know that
why.
he probably didn't even know that he could not do that.
Yeah. So that might be why Lestat is okay. Oh, that would have been terrible if he could feel them fucking. Oh my gosh. Okay. That's just mean. Okay. So Madeline as Louise's fledgling is like now a part of the family. She kind of reveals all this personal information about Louis that he's hard, he's gangster. Louis would rather not, because Louis not a lovey-dovey person. He's not let's stop be like, I love you more than the wind blows itself. Like, whatever. Like, that's a stop. Louis is like, because again, another callback to season 1 when Lestat was like, "Yeah, me and Louis we went to the theater and we saw this emotional play." And Louis like, "I don't know what the fuck they were doing." And even though he did, like, he doesn't like to like admit to his soft side or his vulnerable side.
I feel like that's a very kind of like American thing,
No,
because
absolutely,
then the other
yeah,
two are like, they're like European or whatever, and they feel,
yeah.
or at least
They have
Armand spent
feelings
a
for
lot of time in Europe and
breakfast.
stuff.
Yeah,
Right. So it's just kind of like,
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. No, I can see that. Armand, okay, so out of all of this, Armand gets up to smoke, and Louis like, "Oh, look at him getting up in his big head. Oh, his big head's not gonna fit through the door, y'all." And this was the
Mm-hmm.
cutest scene ever. And then I saw
It was.
Santiago, and I was like so confused because I was like, "Is that an image? Is that a hologram? Like, why is Armand? Why is Santiago here with some bags? What's going on?" And
Mhm.
no, that's not. And Armand is just there. and his face just sort of changes. And I thought he was showing this emotion based on something else, but on the second rewatch, like, no, it's absolutely to seeing Santiago, who comes through with these bags to take Madeline, Claudia, and Louis away. I just have one question.
Okay.
Why can't they just break through these bags?
Because they're being held.
I feel like it was just. I feel like it was like a dual thing. They were being, like Carly just said, they were being held. It's a shock. You don't really know what's going on. You catch them in surprise, and maybe they were like, I think it's just more of a restraint thing. Just a simple restraint thing.
And I would just figure like vampire nails, like tips, out of the bag. But I don't know. Maybe I was missing. I was like, maybe it's got some vampire proof shit. I don't know. But yeah, they are all taken away as Armand. We see him stand down. He actually freezes the restaurant filled with humans.
I'm glad you said that because I wasn't sure if anyone else reacted. So the fact that he froze the restaurant does makes this seem more clearer to me.
Yeah, no, he absolutely froze the restaurant. And next thing we see, the vampire that I don't know what the fuck they're called. The vampire theater puts on a matinee show to put the trio on trial. It's a packed house.
It was good because it was either described as a rare or the first time that it was done in
because they're vampires.
And I know that, but I think it's significant. I think it's very significant that they are doing the play in daytime.
Well, no, absolutely, they're gonna burn somebody, but also
that's exactly what they're planning. But the matinee show, I was like, oh shit,
right? But also for them to be able to be out during daylight shows like how powerful they are. Right. They're not regular old fledglings who would be like, son. They're like, no, we are vampires, we are creatures of the night, and we will hold this shit in public. Like, it's wild, and it's a packed house. And I hate you, Armand. Let me see. They put on a matinee show. It's a packed house. The audience is the jury. Santiago is the judge. And Max goes goes down the stairs to get motherfucking Lestat, who just looks every inch a diva. Gorgeous. Just chin.
He looks gorgeous.
Amazing.
Jaw, his hair.
I loved it. Wait, Jerron, because, at this point in the episode, I wasn't expecting Lestat. But when I got Lestat in this last, I was like, I just slid on the floor. I was just like, oh my God, it's Lestat. Yeah,
that's what I was asking.
I squealed.
Yeah, I squealed,
I was watching with my girlfriend.
How happy are you guys?
Lestat!
He's back!
That was my question. How happy were you all to see Lestat?
Incredibly happy.
No dream. Like, it's not a dream.
Oh my
gosh. It's literally Lestat.
I was like, what the and then the show just ended because they hate me. Me specifically. Because I was like, give me Lestat. Where are y'all going? But the one question I had about this scene where we see Lestat just look fucking amazing is pinstripe suit. Do you think that's symbolizing anything?
No, I just think
it's just
Lestat, just trying to just flossing on people with the fit.
Okay, I'm thinking maybe jail, but you guys are saying nothing. It might be nothing. He does like to look great, but also, why the fuck did Louis not realize or feel that Lestat was in town?
That's what I'm saying. I'm thinking that may be a reveal, or at least I hope it will be next episode. That is like, oh my God, like Louis realizes that he's in the building. But see, here's my other thing. A part of this, they didn't just kidnap them; they beat them.
Yeah, they beat them and kept them there overnight because it's the morning time now, and there's a matinee when they're revealed.
And Armand just let them.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think what explanation do you guys think Armand could have for letting them take, quote unquote, the love of his life, the first person he's loved in centuries? It's one, huh? He's
I
a
was gonna say he
deadbeat.
said it. He was a coward.
Yeah, he did tell Daniel, like, why would I want to share the deepest shame of my life with you? So do
Yeah,
you think
he
he
said
was,
it.
he's this big age that he is and he's still afraid?
Mm,
I mean, the thing is that, like, obviously being a vampire, obviously living for as long as anyone, who's a vampire has lived, like, that doesn't take away your all the shit that you have
Yeah.
going on, all the trauma, all the, issues, or it doesn't take
Yeah,
it away. It may amplify it. You may have more time to just be toxic and fucked up, but
true.
like, it doesn't take it away. So it's just kind of like, I think that if he's not lying, right? And what he
Uh-huh.
said this episode is true, he regrets it. It's something that he said this episode that I will be trying to make up for the rest of my life. And
Yeah.
Louis forgave him up
Uh-huh.
until this point, you know what I mean? But like it's something that
Yeah.
he just regrets. And he
Yeah.
said, I was a coward. This is
Yeah.
when he said I was a coward, I was like, oh, he definitely betrayed him and it was his fault.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just kind of like, what else can you do?
Yeah. And again, we
And
look at
probably
his power status, right? Like, there's no, like, why would he be afraid of him? But it seems he ultimately was, which is just wild to me.
yeah, and also it was like, yeah, he's the leader head, but he doesn't seem to. It never seemed that he actually really wanted it or really wanted
Uh-huh.
to keep it, or
Yeah.
he seemed very like half-assed about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So if that's the way that he's feeling about it, like I could totally understand him being like a little weak when it comes to anyone challenging him or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like
And it also feels like he's been trying to break up with this coven for the
for
longest.
for centuries.
And just can't. I mean, it seems in
Right.
future day he might finally, hopefully, have. But
Right.
yeah, it seems for centuries he just couldn't bring himself to.
Yeah.
Oh my
And it just, I don't know,
god.
it just doesn't, it seems like he's kind of not, I don't want to say weak, but it seems like he's just like, he, it doesn't seem like he leads with like a really strong hand. You know what I'm saying? If that's the case. And it never really seemed like he wanted it, but that may be the one thing that he just can't let go of. Like, sure, he doesn't want to like be part of the troop and like lead this anymore, but when faced with the fact that like you're gonna be ousted or like we're gonna kill you or whatever, he was like, all right, fine. Fine. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah. I just, yeah.
And ugh,
I,
it's
I,
sad,
I,
but
I I feel like they're gonna make me feel bad for Armand by the end of the last two episodes, but I'm still gonna hate him because you don't need to be with Louis, Armand. Like, just do you by
it's
yourself, my guy. Just fucking Christ, it's a lot. Like, there's some relationship that just get worse over time, not better. And that's Louis and Armand. No matter how much they want to pretend that they are living their best life and they're having fun, like Louis, you are literally in a cave in Dubai. Like, what are we doing, honey?
right.
But yeah, that's the episode. That's the end of episode 6. Is there anything else you guys want to add before we get to feedback?
No, I just the scene where Madeline got turned. I love the intimacy that she had with Claudia, even though Louis was like doing his thing. But like when Louis described it as, Claudia was drinking with reverence,
Uh-huh.
and I was like doing it out of obligation or whatever. Like I was like, oh, that was very apt, but also like the fact that Madeline like was like, hey, here's my neck, drink from me, and Claudia did. I felt like that was very intimate
Yeah.
of them to
And
like
I
do
was
that
just
in the moment.
happy for once that Claudia
I'm
was
so happy.
happy.
Yeah.
Like that's
Yeah.
been the Lord of the Rings of this goddamn series is making Claudia happy. And we finally made Claudia happy. And now it's
Yeah.
like, psh, fuck it all.
And it only lasts 2 days. Right.
Well, and they didn't even move into their own place. They were 2 doors down, guys. Whatever the fuck they were
Like when they said they left, they literally should have left.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also fuck Armand for like you if you like it's very easy to say that Lestat would have never betrayed Louis like this. but that's just some facts. But also, let's not even include Lestat in the situation, right? To sell the person you love, quote unquote, out like this. Where it's not even like he was like, y'all could take Claudia and Madeline. It's like, no, y'all could also take Louis. I'm not getting back with you after this. So how does Louis? Because I don't give a fuck about your best intentions at this point. They beat me up, they put me in a fucking bag, and you left them.
Yeah. I mean, the next episode is the last episode of the season.
No, it's not. That's the penultimate. Yeah,
the next episode is the penultimate episode?
Yes, the next episode. The next episode is penultimate. Yeah, we're going to episode 8. So we have 7 and 8 coming up.
Okay, wow. Okay, so then in that case, yes. I'm on my final thoughts is I'm excited for what's to come, because I still have theories on what could happen. Because the only thing I have is the movie as my guide. So if they're not wrapping this up, I'm still holding on to my theories of what I think or what I would like to see happen. But this show has the uncanny ability, like I said last week, to build upon each episode to make you want.
It's gonna be wild.
Haven't seen that since.
Did you see the preview?
I saw the preview. I did see the preview, and they didn't really give much.
I mean, I just needed to just the only thing I gave a fuck about was Lestat taking off his coat as he went to the stage, and his waist was snatched, and I was like, I'm good. That was all I needed.
Obviously, it'd be interesting to see what Lestat has to say.
Oh my god!
And this is just going to be the vampire trial, which is a farce because they're not being, judged by a jury of their peers. Nope. They're being judged by humans who just want to see chaos.
They don't even know what the fuck is actually going on.
They don't know what's going on. So it's just be an interesting thing to see, and I hope. It's my hope that I'm not going to be disappointed.
And how does this lead to the fire, right? Because obviously, I'm assuming the entire.
That's another point. I'm glad you mentioned that, because they have been teasing the fire, teasing this fire that is said, or that we, as far as Daniel has said, only. Or had the question, did only Louis and Armand survive this particular fire? So I'm imagining that the end of the next episode, maybe the start of the fire, or the season finale will be the fire.
Oh my god, I cannot wait. I cannot wait. But also, I love Santiago. I know he's the bad guy and he's the villain, but he's so likable and he's not entirely wrong. I
love Santiago in the movie, and I love Santiago here.
I don't even remember Santiago in the movie. I can't wait to watch the movie once season 2 wraps up.
I need y'all to watch the movie after this season is over.
We'll watch it after this season is over. But I keep seeing clips of the scenes Brad Pitt was in. And I was like, oh my god, Brad Pitt could not act. He was just hot.
He's the worst.
I'm like, but we blame
ourselves for Brad. I think this is one of Brad Pitt's best roles.
You wildin'.
Well, he's my favorite actor of all time. So
stop it, Brad Pitt. Not even Daniel. What's his name? Daniel Louis Johnson. I'm just throwing names out there.
Daniel Louis Johnson.
Oh shit! Yeah, him. Daniel Day-Lewis. You
Daniel
gonna pick Brad
Day-Lewis
Pitt over him?
I would pick Brad Pitt over Daniel Day-Lewis.
Why? Based off of what?
Based off of Fight Club or River Run Stewart, California, the interview with the vampire. Brad Pitt is my favorite actor of all time. He's a shit.
We're gonna have to come back to this another day, because I'm not ready. What? Brad, of all the white men in this
of all the white
men,
of all the white men, I would say a close second.
Not Russell Crowe.
A close second is Michael Fassbender.
Michael Fassbender should be number 1. You ballin'. You know what? Let's close the show out. I'm not going to do this with you tonight, Joanne. So that's all we have for episode 6 of Interview with the Vampire, titled Like the Light, by which God made the world before he made the light, which if any of y'all understand what the fuck that means, please feel free to let us know. Episode 7 is titled I Could Not Prevent It.
Oh, obviously Armand line.
I've never seen a man dodge responsibility like Armand, but
Wow.
Can't wait.
But is he dodging response? Okay. No, let's just wait.
He didn't want to make Madeline. He didn't want to make a hard line between the coven and Louis. He I could go on. I can't obviously right now. If you guys are listening, back me up and give me more ammunition against Armand because he's the worst. But yeah, where was I going with that? I don't know. Let's jump into feedback. Feedback. Okay, so we got feedback this week. Left feedback. As always, if you guys have any thoughts, anything you want to contribute, you are more than welcome to send it to tvmoviemistress@gmail.com. I also leave a feedback post up in the Facebook group every week. And, you can reach me on Twitter. Just tag me, either BookDreamer01 and or the show's Twitter, TV Movie Mistress. I'm pretty active on both because I have ADHD and can't shut the fuck up. Outside of that, let's jump into feedback. First is from Heather. She says, I didn't like the seamstress. Sorry, I can't remember her name right now. I felt she was unnecessarily arrogant.
Madeline's name.
Which we just learned this week ourselves. I felt she was unnecessarily arrogant and completely unaware of what she was signing up for. I think that's a scene we actually didn't talk about. Another scene that I thought was beautiful, where Armand was sort of interrogating her, what do you expect of the afterlife? How are you going to feed? And then the background, the background with Armand in this turtleneck sweater, they kind of hug his chestises. Against the background of wallpaper flower.
The only thing I got
that apple like a psycho.
Perfection.
Yes, exactly, Carter. The only thing I got out of that was the way that she was eating that apple.
Really?
With a fucking spoon.
I've never seen anyone eat an apple.
That's what you got.
I've never seen anyone eat an apple with a spoon.
Just give it to her.
I was distracted by the background, the wallpaper. That's what I was looking at, was how nice the wall. I was like, I wish we still did wallpaper in 2020.
He definitely should have said no because of the way she was eating that apple. Obviously, she's a fucking psycho.
Wow. She's a psycho.
Okay. I think she was a bit more aware of what she was signing up for. But
she was.
But she's also a psycho. I agree. Because no one should be this willing to be like, you know what? Fuck humanity. Let me raise my hand up for vampiric eternity. But
I just think that if we're taking her at her word and her memories and all that stuff, her life didn't seem like it was all sunshine and rainbows. And then she's like, okay, fine, I'll take the dark gift or whatever. You know what I mean? She seems like she was every fucking night they're drawing a swastika on her window, and she was about to get raped because why? Because she's
she makes complicated choices.
And this was just this moment in time, the way she was answering Armand in that scene, she seemed very confident in her choice to become a vampire, because she's just when he said, how are you going to survive eternity? And her answer satisfied me, the way she answered about surviving all the shit that she's been through. And it wasn't I survived an abusive blah blah blah. She was just I survived when everyone else was dying. I made it. You know what I'm saying? So just based on her answers, I was just kind of I feel like she deserves it. That's pretty good.
No, same. Yeah. And she seemed realistic about it.
Absolutely, but in stark contrast of Daniel San Francisco Daniel, young Daniel last week, where he was just just give me the gift, man. I'll appreciate it, man.
Daniel's I get good head. No, you gotta turn me.
Right. So it's it was such a contrast in that, but she didn't seem like she had the best, happiest,
Life,
best life
yeah,
ever.
yeah, and I get it, because again, it's like fuck humanity at this point. Like I said, in this moment of time where she was like, "Yeah, I'm turning into a vampire," I got it. Like when you just sort of only seen the worst of humanity when you were about to be gang raped like 5 days before. Like, yeah, you know what? Let me take the gift of life, of death, or whatever
Right.
it's called. Okay, so our next feedback comes from Elisa. She says,
Hi, Lisa.
Claudia was lonely and needed a companion. Madeline was a loner who lived a tragic life. Perfect match, daughter, mother, sister, lover. And that is absolutely true. How, though,
100%.
did you guys feel about the moment when Louis mentioned, hey, I saw your sister in your memories when I was draining your life. Does that have any connection to how you feel about Claudia? What do you guys think that was about?
I think
Uh,
that was
Go
pretty
ahead,
much.
Carl.
I feel like you could take that at face value, and that's a fair question. You know what I mean? Like, are you replacing this love that you felt for like your little sister with
Yeah,
this person now?
yeah. And
And
why are you adding
and I don't think she
sexuality if
was
that's the
based on.
case?
I don't think she was based on her
Mm,
answer to like, what is this? Is this romantic? Is this something
mm.
else? And they were
It's like,
like,
not
no,
yet.
but not yet.
Yeah,
You're just
yeah.
kind of like, all right,
Okay,
cool,
yeah, yeah. But also, Claudia is like 50 at this point. But
yeah.
like that's still the face of the person you gotta see. It's a child's face. Like that's, yeah,
Right, it's like in a child's body. So okay, if it's romantic, like, is it gonna be sexual? Because
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. Like
Because
this is a lot.
then
Yeah,
now I'm uncomfortable.
yeah. But also, like if Claudia is no longer Claudia doesn't have to deal with because what I always thought is like Claudia as a even though she has had her period, most likely is still a virgin, which means every time she has sex, she basically has to relive losing her virginity. Which fuck out of here. I will happily be a lesbian. I would be a lesbian today for less. So
You said for less?
How did we get here?
Every day, every morning I wake up like I know the rules of the game. Like, am I lesbians? I don't know how any of that goes. I don't know how we got
I
here.
mean,
I
they
am
always try
I've
it,
got
why
like
not?
10% of a soju bottle left. That's how we got here. But Elisa, thank you for your feedback. We appreciate it. We also have,
Same.
I think, like 2 comments from Spotify, which was not really. Again, I love
Ooh,
that you guys are like responding through all the different avenues. It really makes me feel happy. Contra Paso says this about episode 4. Louis is my favorite character. He's deeply flawed, and I love that, especially in the series. He's so much more multifaceted than Anne Rice ever let him be in the books. Also, Jacob Anderson. Look,
yes.
Game of Thrones
Yes.
really did waste Jacob Anderson, right? Because, like, are they
Abs-
stupid?
The first episode of this show, I was like, what was he doing in Game of Thrones? What were they doing with him? Nothing.
Silent, and
Nothing.
nothing. Like,
Nothing.
I wanna quarter the D&D bros. Because what was this?
Ridiculous.
Let me
Such
not
talent. He
um,
is incredible.
look. Life. And then we have one more. Oh, this is interesting. Contrapass also says Louis has an eating disorder. He stopped eating people around the time his life started to really fall apart around him. It's an attempt at control / agency, but also self punishment as it weakens him. You know, that's a great way, and something I've never
Mm.
thought about it at it being an eating disorder. What do you think, Carly?
No, I mean if if that is what he's doing, although I don't think we haven't had any evidence of that on the show, have we?
Like he eats rats and shit instead of like he murders humans, and this has always been my issue with Lou. You can't just be out here being like, I don't eat humans, but I'll murder 50 in a row. Like what the like that's always been my
Well,
conflict with him. Like just
I
fucking
think it's
eat them
different because
then.
it's like the way, for example, the way that Claudia described it to Madeline this episode, it's blood, it's thick,
Mhm.
it's warm, it's food. I just needed to survive. It's
Yeah,
just food. So it
yeah,
doesn't have to be humans.
yeah.
But it has to be blood,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
So I don't know. I don't know if I would see it that way. However, the what you just
yeah.
read does sound like the definition
Right,
of what an
that's
eating disorder
interesting.
would be. Yeah.
Again, something I haven't really thought about, but an interesting piece of the pie. But yeah, so that's all the comments and feedback we have for tonight. Thank you guys all for sending your feedback. Again, if you like what we're doing,
Yay.
check out the YouTube page. There's so much more craziness. A lot of the stuff is behind like the Patreon paywalls because like, okay, it's not because of capitalism. It's kind of because of capitalism, but it's also like privacy issues because like I still have a job. So if you, so I've just decided I'm going to hide some shit behind the paywall. So, but also like outside of those reasons, it's like if you like what we're doing, if you like what I'm doing, which takes up a lot of time and a lot of blah 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 blah. Feel free to support me on Patreon for as little as $1. If you appreciate that, I appreciate that, and all of that. But outside of that, we'll be back in like today. What is today? Wednesday. Happy Juneteenth, by the way. I'm gonna try and get this episode out by
Yay.
tomorrow.
Happy Juneteenth.
Look, love it, love having a day off. I took a nap early, and it was amazing. And then I had a cup of coffee after the nap. Yo, I was just living my best life. But if you like what we're doing, like the YouTube page, support through Patreon, all that good shit, come and talk to us in the Facebook group, honestly. And yeah, I'll try and have this out in the next 24 hours. And what else do I have to say? I think that's it. I'm excited for episode 7. I'm excited to see what Lestat's gonna say. His hair looks fucking terrific. It's like laid.
So good.
Stop with it.
We can't talk about Lestat.
Looks great.
So what are you gonna do next week? I'm confused what you're gonna do next
we're
week.
gonna drool for like 45 minutes.
Lestat will be here for the entire episode most likely. So what are you gonna do?
And he's gonna ham it up.
I'm gonna ignore him and just focus on.
Good luck on that. I can't wait to see how you handle it. It's gonna be exciting. Join us for that.
And I'm gonna focus on Santiago, but Santiago is pro Lestat, it seems. So I'm gonna be conflicted
because he's smart. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. But on that note, guys, Carly, tell them where they can find you.
I'm on Instagram at Carly Vision with a K.
Joanne.
You can find me on X, formerly known as Twitter.
Stop saying X, formerly known. Just say fucking Twitter. Don't buy into that X shit.
Because the name of the app is
I don't give a fuck. It's Twitter.
According to Elon Musk.
Elon Musk looks like a dick of a horse. I don't care. Like,
At JTD, that is JAYTEEDEE, and also you can find the podcast that I co-host with Devin and Jamel called Edit That Out on all podcasting platforms.
Okay, and you guys can find me on Twitter, BookDreamer01. Again, I haven't updated my Twitter since before he bought that shit, so my shit is still a fucking bird, and he could go suck a dick. I still see my likes. I still see Twitter. I still see the bird. I'm living my best life. That's all I gotta say.
There you go.
Huh?
You also see the porn.
I don't actually. That's the thing. I don't see any of the shit you guys are complaining about. I don't see the porn. I don't see the weird bots. So I'm living my best 2023 life pre Elon Musk winning. Tiger Blood. I feel like that was a thing. Also, TV Movie Mistress through Facebook, the Twitters, and YouTube as well. Most importantly, YouTube. Please check out that channel. YouTube takes so much work out of my life. I enjoy it as a visual medium, but I will also acknowledge it takes a lot of effort and work to do a YouTube video. I apologize to everybody who I have insulted their YouTube videos. Just be like, that's it, bitch. It's like, yeah, even the worst fucking YouTube videos, it's a lot of work. So please appreciate, like, and subscribe. But that's it. Thank you guys for listening. We'll be back next week to talk about episode 7 of Interview with the Vampire. Bye.
Bye.
Peace.
Look how nice my nails are, though. Wait, let me stop.
Ooh.